Do famous people get nervous to meet other famous people? Does Kendall have a baby? Does Caitlyn come back? Who knows? Will it start a fight? Who knows? Hey guys, welcome to today's video and welcome to this week's Get Ready With Me and TV. So if you're new here, my name is Caitlyn. I upload videos every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. Saturdays is my Fab in 5 series where we get fabulous in 5 minutes or less. Any beauty related content, again, in 5 minutes or less. And I recently started a new series called Get Ready With Me and TV. So if you are watching today's video, that is exactly what we are here to do today. If you did not see last week's episode, which was the very first episode, this series is basically where I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna do my makeup, talking about the past week's episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I'm basing this season of this series I started on the final season of the Kardashians, and then next season of this series will be based on another show. I can do any show you want. You know, if you don't watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but you like the idea of this series, definitely comment below any shows you love and would like me to do this with. I can do reality TV, like I'm planning on doing one on The Bachelorette. I can even do fictional TV, and I will take everything into consideration. Again, if you missed last week's episode of my series, I explained that each week I'm going to be using something within the episode that we're chatting about to inspire my look. And then it's your job to guess what that is. Last week, my look was inspired by Kim Kardashian. The whole like smoked out brown liner, kind of foxy look with warm toned shadows. And this week's a little bit more difficult. Even if you didn't watch the episode or if you don't watch the Kardashians, I hope you stick around because you can still enjoy watching me do my makeup. I actually think I'm going to pop up just down here what I'm using. So if you're wanting to follow along and you kind of want to know what I was using, it's also in the description. Without further ado, let's chit chat about this week's, or I guess technically last week's episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So it starts off with Kylie Jenner. I was excited because she wasn't in the last, I feel like I'm like way down here. There we go. I was a little bit excited to see that Kylie was in the episode right off the bat because I don't feel like she's been as consistent on the show as the Kardashians. I mean, she was kind of born into it. She didn't really have a choice. She's doing like a music video. So Cardi B asked her to be in the music video, which is like so cool. And Cardi B comes in and like Cardi B is nervous to meet Kylie. And I found that kind of funny. Like I didn't realize, do famous people get nervous to meet other famous people? Like you're famous too. What does it matter? I don't know. I found that hilarious. Also, sorry, what's happening with her nails? If you watch this episode, you will have seen Cardi B's nails were like out to here. They were like, I bet you 3 inches long. Like, I'm not joking you. I don't know how she like does anything with them. So that was crazy. Like, how does she do anything with her hands with nails like that? Like, Kylie is so pretty. Kylie's talking to Cardi B and, you know, Cardi B's complimenting her on how she looks and whatever. And Kylie's like, yeah, I put on a little bit of weight. Quarantine weight. I'm like, okay,
I've gained a little quarantine weight.
Do you see yourself in that outfit that you're wearing? Like you literally look insane. How can you say you gained weight? So then it goes to Scott, Kim, and Khloe. They're all hanging out for, I believe it was at the Malibu house that they rented for the season. I just love Scott and Khloe's relationship specifically. I also like that Scott's close with like the whole family now. Like he's literally close with everybody. At first I actually thought it was kind of weird, but you know what? The fact that he's lost both of his parents and he still can get a sense of family with them, I find that really, really cool. He's also grown a lot over the seasons. Like looking back to season number 1, I disliked him a lot. Number 1, because he was treating Kourtney not very well. But also he just was annoying, but now he's like literally the funniest person on the show. And I don't know if the show would be the same without him. Like he's so funny with Khloe. Him and Khloe are like my faves. So yeah, I definitely like their relationship. And I feel like Kim has also grown closer with him as well, which is kind of cool. So we saw last week a preview and right off the bat, Khloe confronts Scott about basically Khloe posted a photo of her in like a bathing suit and she looked really good, obviously. And it was for Good American, which is her brand. And Scott commented that Tristan is a lucky man, like just trying to be nice because she looked really good. and she was getting a lot of grief for it. Like, I think people were assuming from that comment that she was dating him, and at this time they're not dating. She's upset, I think, because of the way people were reacting, not necessarily by the comment, but because it was kind of bringing her more issues, and like she was having to deal with kind of the backlash of it. So she deletes Scott's comment just to like avoid the drama. It comes up on the TV articles that were kind of helping you understand the situation, and a couple of them said like fans call her desperate and they're mad for being kept in the dark. And I actually was mind blown by this. Number one, like, come on, people. Let's be better than this. Let's just think back to what happened to her. The father of her child cheated on her at least twice, like that we're aware of. She, number one, was, I'm sure, heartbroken because I think she loved him. But number two, was probably also embarrassed. It's in the public eye. It's literally on their show. So she doesn't need people to remind her that he did that, you know? Like, I just found that insane that people would go to their way to comment that she's desperate. Like, if she wants to take him back, she has every right to do so. Doesn't make her desperate. Maybe she loves him. And as you can see in the last episode, he really seems to be trying to win her back. Like, he seems to have manned up, to have changed. Now, who knows? Like, it's to each their own whether you think that he really has changed. If you don't agree with that, then that's totally fine. If you wouldn't do the same, then that's totally fine. I don't know what I would do. I don't know if I could take him back if that was me. She didn't even say she was back with him. Like, that blew my mind that people would do that. I could not fathom that would come, like somebody would type that. Like, I felt bad for her. After reading that, I was like, I totally understand why she feels like she can't make a decision, because I think she feels so overwhelmed by other people, their opinions, and I can't even imagine that. Oh, fans were upset because they were kept in the dark. You know what? I understand that they came on this show, they signed up for it to you know, air their life on TV. I get it. And believe me, I want to know too. But I also don't like get mad when things aren't put on there, because that's ridiculous. She deletes the comment, and her and Kim and Scott are kind of talking about it. And Kim just says like, I'm so sick of you bowing down to what the public thinks. And I do agree with that. Like, I think she pointed out, like, Chloe used to be kind of the girl that didn't care. Like, I don't care what anybody thinks about me. And it is sad to see that that's kind of changed. But I do agree with Kim. Like, she needs to stop caring about what other people think, because at the end of the day, I bet you if she doesn't take him back, there's people that are going to be like, oh my gosh, she's trying so hard. And then if she does take him back, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, you like are so desperate. So at the end of the day, she's never going to win. She might as well do what she wants to do. People are so ridiculously mean. It is easier said than done, but like, I do agree with Kim. She needs to just like not let people get to her. Scott does point out, which I didn't really think of it like that until he said it, but like he said, you know, you got to think of it from Tristan's point of view as well. Like, I'm sure that made him feel like you're embarrassed of him. He doesn't want to feel like an embarrassment, and like, you have to think of how it's making him feel. I do get what he's saying, but I also feel like after what Tristan did to her, she has every right to not be sure yet. Take her time to make a decision. I feel like if she doesn't know whether she can trust him again yet, then that's her choice. We learn more as the episode goes on that I think the biggest reason she hasn't really officially, you know, decided to get back with him is because of what people are saying to her, like fans and on social media. Not like, just breaks my heart to think not just her, but anybody in the world, whether you're famous or not, if anybody is made to feel like they can't, you know, do what they want to do because people are going to judge them. Like, that's so sad. So like, come on people, let's be better. Let the girl live her life. So anyways, let's move on from that topic. Then it goes on to Malika is hanging out with Kim and Chloe. Like, they're all sitting outside and Malika just randomly asks Kim, so is your husband running for president? Are you going to be the next first lady? And I literally burst out laughing. It's been a hot minute since that's all happened. And I just remember thinking it was hilarious that Kanye was going to run for president. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess anybody can run. I feel like Trump kind of paved the way for somebody who's not already in politics to run and be president. Like before, it was typically somebody who's already in politics. Now that Trump's run for president, anybody thinks they can run for president, and it's kind of funny. I just died when she said that though, because I didn't remember that, and I didn't know how much they were gonna like talk about Kanye. That kind of answered my question from last week. I guess they are together because she's still calling her husband. So they haven't been, haven't gotten divorced yet in the show. Kim does seem kind of hesitant to talk about him on camera. She seems a little bit upset by the topic just by talking about him. So I do feel bad for her because she really does seem like she tries to support, and she's kind of been like this the whole relationship. She seems like she really tries to support him. Yeah, I know I have a lot of blush on. Just give me a moment. I'm going to sheer it out, all right? Don't judge me. I look like a clown. Oh my goodness. Let me fix this before you guys are like, exit out. She doesn't know how to do makeup. See, there we go. So yeah, as I was saying, I do feel bad for Kim. I feel like she's, always been there for Kanye despite what he does. And he's very public when he has kind of a meltdown. It's all over Twitter. It's all over social media. Everybody's talking about it. And it obviously affects her. It's her husband, So I do feel for her. They kind of are talking about it, and then Kim just basically shuts it down. She's like, I don't want to talk about it on camera. Like, no, we're not talking about it. Khloe does do, like in her interview, she says that, Kim usually is very internal when she's dealing with personal stuff. Like she doesn't typically let anybody in. But the fact that she's not even, discussing it at all, I guess, with them in private, Khloe said it's clearly really affecting her. I mean, they've already talked about Kim and Kanye quite a bit on this season, despite the fact that she doesn't seem like she really wants to talk about it. I think it is inevitable that we're going to learn more about it, because how can they not talk about it? I mean, they don't have to. They can do what they want. It's their show. Especially for the last season. Like, I think it's going to be talked about to some degree. You know what I mean? Let me just do my brows because I can't handle this pressure. I think we're going to learn more about Kim and Kanye's relationship this season, just how they are going so far. Flash forward to when Kendall and Khloe and Malika are having lunch. Malika's actually been in this season quite a bit as well. And this is the first time we've seen Kendall this season, which is, I like to see everybody. I don't know. I forget how the conversation started, but Kendall makes a comment that like sometimes she sees how everybody has a kid, and she just kind of thinks like, maybe she wants to have one soon. And she does in an interview say, she's the last one in the family. She's the only one that doesn't have a kid. And she says that she wants kids and she wants them soon. I literally died. I died. Dead. I'm gone. Khloe's reaction.
Any kids around, Ken?
I know. Some days I am like, oh God.
I mean, it's natural.
I don't think she's with anybody either, so I kind of agree, like, what's the rush? It's just funny to see Khloe like, no, don't be rushing this. Basically, Khloe and Malika are trying to say, like, don't rush it. You have so much you could do with your life right now. Don't rush having a kid, which I do understand. Kendall kind of, says, I could handle it. And Khloe's like, are you sure? So her and Malika are like, okay, so if you can handle it, then you can watch one of our kids. So she says, why don't you start off with a baby because it's a little bit easier. They set up a trial run where Kendall's going to watch Malika's son, Ace. Not necessarily that she's not ready, but like it's a lot more work. It's not just something that's like, it changes your life. Long story short, it changes your life. So be careful what you ask for. So she babysits him. And it's funny because when you watch her babysitting him, it seems like she's so scared. It's kind of like just standing there, like doesn't know what to do with this infant. She's like feeding him. And I guess, I don't know how it happens, but like he must have like moved her hand and like scratched his face with her finger. And she's like, you did that to yourself, like going on like she's afraid like she did something wrong.
Oh, you just scratched yourself with my finger. You scratched yourself. Dude, you did that to yourself. No. You did that to yourself, man.
blaming the kid, blaming the 4-month-old. And it's funny, like Malika and Chloe are like, yeah, we're gonna have like girl time, we'll do some errands. They literally go to McDonald's. Your getaway is let's just go eat McDonald's in our car. You know you're a mom when. They go back and Kendall's like, yeah, this was so easy. He was literally like so easy, which I'm sure it was. They are like, okay, we're gonna set you up with some toddlers and see how you do with that one. I also noticed in the season that Tristan's in it a lot. Really, any of the husbands or boyfriends have been in the show a whole time. The only one that's been consistently on it is Scott, so I wonder if Tristan will be on this whole season. I do find it cool, like they're telling more of the background behind their relationship and what's going on, so it's cool to see both perspectives, like to see him on the show and able to explain his feelings and his situation. So I do find it cool that he's on more. So then there's Scott and Tristan, and they have a conversation where Scott basically like apologizes for the comment he made. He's like, I thought I was being nice, you know, I didn't realize it was going to bring so much drama for you guys. And Tristan kind of expresses how like, you know, I don't understand why it was such a big deal to begin with. Like, I'm not a secret. Like, I don't want to be your little secret. Like, why can't, you know, people know about me? Scott does kind of point out when he's talking to him that it's not like he got away scot-free. He's kind of had to work hard, and he made the point, like, it's been a year and you've been working, you know, your butt off to try to make it up to her. And I do kind of see his point in a sense, because like, it's not like, oh, he just came back, apologized, and now he's in the situation he's in. Like, he's clearly had to work really hard, you know, had to really show that he's changed. And he seems to, you know, be continuing to do so, even though she's not giving him the title, she's not giving him that reassurance. So he seems like he really is trying, like he loves her, he wants to be with her, and he's trying to prove that. Scott does point out, you know, she's all about having a kid with him. She wants to have another baby with him, but she can't even make it official. I do feel like I understand both sides. I feel like I can see why Chloe's being cautious, why she's, you know, not ready to give him the title yet. But I can also see Tristan and Scott's point of view. Tristan also makes the point, like, they live together, they wake up together, work out together, have breakfast together, watch TV together. They, you know, go on vacation together. I think he hints that they're, you know, doing other stuff together. All of that sounds like a relationship. What I can understand from their point of view and what I can agree with is that if she wants to, you know, do all that, then I think at some point she just has to make a decision, you know? Like, I do understand his frustration and him just wanting her to, like, you know, like, do you want to be with me or not? Like, he makes the point, why would you want to have another kid with somebody you don't see yourself being with? I feel like a big part of the reason she doesn't want to, like, especially publicly take him back is probably, you know, she's embarrassed. Like, she is embarrassed of what he did, and of, you know, she probably feels stupid even though it's not her fault. I don't know where they were when Kim's out on the swing. I don't know who she was talking to, but obviously somebody who's either with Kanye or talks to Kanye, and basically she's like, I will come out to, you know, Wyoming, but every time I talk to him, he says no. So I actually remember, I don't know if this is exactly when this happened, when Kanye was like going nuts on Twitter, and the issues that were happening when he was running for president, like the things that he said publicly about their relationship that were inappropriate. I remember all that. That was when it first was talked about that they might be kind of on the rocks. Something about how it was saying that they weren't living together anymore, although I don't think they've really ever lived together consistently. I remember reading somewhere that, like, he wouldn't see her and she just wanted to go see him. So this clearly is when that happened. Inside, Chris, Courtney, and Chloe are kind of talking about it, how they're worried about her. You know, she's got a lot going on. She just is going through law school. She's got this going on with Kanye, and that she's not really opening up about it. They kind of talk about, you know, let's do something to lift her spirits. Let's do something to make her feel a little bit better, because obviously she's, you know, she's maybe doesn't want to talk about it, but the least we can do is just kind of get her mind off of it. In this episode, we see North and P, like Courtney's daughter and Kim's daughter, oldest daughter. Are they both not looking so grown up. Like, holy smokes. I feel like even last season, they didn't look that big. Like, they are growing up so fast. How tall is Tristan? Let's look that up. I wrote this down. I wrote, how tall is Tristan? He's 6'9". I knew he was tall, but I did not know he was that tall. He was having to literally lean over so he didn't hit his head. So Tristan comes in and has a conversation with Kim, also voicing his, you know, concerns about Chloe. Kim does, again, voice to Tristan, you know, Chloe, she's talking about, she never used to worry about what other people thought. Then at the same time, when you think about it, remember when he cheated on her with Jordan, Kylie's friend? Do you remember when Jordan did the interview? She came out and talked about it to the public and kind of made Chloe look a bit like the bad guy. You know, she's blaming it all on me and I wasn't what broke up their marriage, blah, 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 which that's a whole other conversation. She literally received death threats after that, Chloe did. People are disgusting. I think she's really received a whole lot of hate. That's what actually a lot of this episode was about, was just the whole like Chloe and Tristan situation. Now comes when Kendall is supposed to be watching the kids. And then they're like, okay, you want hard? Okay. Here's 3 toddlers under the age of 3. That would be tough for just about anybody. Again, it's kind of like at first it seems like they make it seem like she doesn't know what she's doing. And then they come back and they're like, how did it go? She's like, it was so easy. They were great. They were just great. When like they're like pushing each other and like it seems like she's having a hard time. And then, you know, the girls come back and she's like, no, it was totally fine. So when you watch her babysitting them, right? She's like, okay, it's bedtime. And she picks up the girls and just puts them in the bed, tells them to lay down. She's like, I'm gonna go turn the light off.
Lie down. Okay, guys, I'm gonna turn out the lights.
She doesn't put them in pajamas. She literally just sets them down. They're in their clothes. She doesn't tuck them into blankets. She just tells them to lay down. And I'm not saying like, oh, she's such a bad person. I'm saying it's totally crystal clear that she was not putting them to bed. That was totally set up. Like, I think they must have a nanny because they are obviously busy. So they must have a person that, you know, helps them out with the kids. I just found that funny. Like, Kendall's like, okay, I'm going to go put you to bed. I'm like, you are not putting them to bed. So while she's watching the kids, Chloe and Courtney surprise Kim with a girls' night. They're for like a Malibu girls' night to help kind of get Kim's mind off of the whole Kanye situation. Super cute. I think that's cute that they did that for her. They just hang out, drink, and have fun. So Chloe asks Courtney, like, so are you doing anything with anybody? Are you dating anybody? Are you in a relationship? Courtney says no, so she's single as well. I think this season she's gonna end up with Scott. I really want them to. So they have their girls' night. They're doing like the most absurd things. I mean, they're obviously drinking, but they're also kicking stuff off of each other's head.
Stay still. This is good enough. Ooh, Chloe!
They just seem like they're having fun, being funny. And when they're done, they go to pick Kim and Chloe go to pick up their kids. This part I'm going to need to do off camera. Hold on a sec. Kim had, told Tristan, you just need to talk to Chloe about it. So we see Chloe and Tristan, they have the conversation, and he brings up, like, basically told her everything he had said to Scott and Kim. I know that I caused you this pain. I created this situation, which it was good to hear him, admit his wrong. And he seemed really supportive when he was talking to her. Like, he's gonna be there to deal with it all with her, blah, blah, blah. She basically tells him, I want to keep things private to protect herself. That's mainly because of what's happened on social media, like in the last couple years. Does admit, as much as she wants to, have another kid with him on a romantic level, she does feel like she's still guarded. And I did say before, I can totally understand that. She has every right to feel that way, but she does, again, express that she feels overwhelmed with the comments that she gets constantly about not just her relationship with Tristan, but just people being very critical of her physical appearance, of her relationships. I feel like that would get anybody down. I do feel like Tristan was being very supportive, which is good. I feel like he understood her concern and took responsibility for what he did. I predict that they will, especially once, I think, if they get a surrogate, I think that will be a big, you know, stepping stone for that, because I think once they're having another baby together, she's gonna have to kind of think like, are we bringing this baby into, you know, a relationship or what? So I think that we will by the end of the season. I feel like it'll be either way. If they don't get together, I feel like we're gonna find out. That was basically the end of the episodes. I feel like there's a lot more to come this season. I am curious to see if Kendall goes ahead with having a baby, and like I'm curious to know, is she dating anybody? I know she's had relationships and they've never been on the show. So is she dating somebody that she could have a baby with? I feel like they would have probably talked about it. They probably, I don't know, maybe she really just doesn't want people to know who she's dating or if she's in a relationship. So they also show a preview of next week's episode. Like the first thing they show is Scott and Courtney. Basically the family, I think, is going to try to set them back up. Chloe and Kendall are talking about Courtney and Scott and how they're both single, and basically they mentioned that they want to try to like nudge them a little bit, see if they like would get back together. I don't know how Courtney's going to respond, because I feel like she would be the type of person to get upset with them like meddling, but who knows, like maybe she does like him, maybe it will kind of like open her eyes to that. Even if they don't end up together, I feel like it's smart for them to kind of visit the idea, because I feel like people would always wonder if they don't revisit the idea of, you know, Courtney and Scott. So even if they don't end up together, I think it is smart that they're like talking about it and at least bringing it up. I feel like they're going to like be like, oh, let's go to the Malibu house and like hang out. And then I feel like they're going to kind of like set them up. Then in the preview, you see that they walk in and they're like, what is going on here? And it's like they're looking for Courtney and Scott. So are they hinting that something happens between them? So I definitely feel like we're going to find out a little bit more about Scott and Courtney's relationship next week. So I'm excited to come back next week and talk about that. And they also have like an obstacle course, Kardashians against the Jenners. So I think like Kendall and Kylie are going to go against like, I don't know, either Courtney or Kim or Chloe, or maybe all of them. I don't know. Does Caitlyn come back? Who knows? I've also been seeing rumors that Caitlyn does come on this season. So I wonder if maybe because it's the last season, she wants to like make amends with people. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot to come with this season, because I think we're going to learn more about Kim's divorce. I think we're going to learn more about Chloe and Tristan's relationship, more about Scott and Courtney's relationship. Like if Caitlyn comes back, that would probably have to do with Chris. I wonder if she's going to make amends with Chris. Does Kendall have a baby? You know, I feel like there's a lot going on this season. So much to come. I feel like from now on, it's going to be a little bit more exciting, because now that the ball's been rolling. Comment below what you think I was trying to, you know, recreate. What was the inspiration behind this look here? Tune in next Monday, 12 p.m. EST. I will be announcing what it was. Comment below what your thoughts are of this week's episode. Remember to be kind, or else delete. Not dealing with that nasty stuff, so let's be better than that, people. I want to hear what you guys think is going to happen in the future episodes. I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, ring the bell, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.